Hello everyone, John here again. Welcome back to this Essential Blues series. Do check out the other videos if you haven't. Right, now what are we up to now? We're up to sounding good, how you can play a phrase and finish on the right note. Now, so if you've ever heard a player play and you know, if you're playing it's a bit hit and miss, you're landing on wrong notes, sounds bad, let's have a look at how you can land on the right note, which is to say, land on the root note of the key you're in this case A. Alright, so you've got your pentatonic scale, which we know. Now, once you've got that scale, a big thing about sounding good and sounding a bit more professional is where you finish your phrases. Now, what I mean by that is if you're playing a lick, now, that sounds all right, because what I'm doing here is I'm landing on an A note. So we're doing a blues in A, so hopefully you've got to know where your A notes are. So if you look at this scale that we've learned, all right, here's an A here on the 5th fret of the E. Here's another A on the 7th fret, all right, of the D. Here's another A, really the last one in this shape, on the 5th fret of the A. Okay, now if I just play some phrases, what I'm going to try and do is just land on an A note, and you'll hear they sound kind of complete. So let's have a look. So with those phrases, they sound pretty good because I'm finishing always on an A note. All right, and that's going to be good. So you've got to kind of keep that in mind as you play. Whatever your phrase, even if it's a simple one. So I'm finishing on an A there. So let me do a longer phrase. So there, I was in position 1. I went back to position 5, but I still finished on an A note, you see. So what's a good thing to do here? If you know your notes on the guitar, which hopefully you do because you've watched my notes video, think of this. You've got this kind of 4-note box. You've got here, there's my A note. Okay. So if I stay in this little square box, okay, so if you just think of those notes, that's 5, 7, 5, 7. But if you think of it as kind of a shape, that's where you get into trouble, because the next level of guitar, you've got to think of notes. So think of this, G, A, C, D. Now if you can see that shape, there's your A note there. See, look, here's an A note here, so it's going to be the same shape, isn't it? There's your A, so G, A, C, D, G, A, C, D. If we come up here to shape number 2, G, A, C, D. So when you're playing, that's pretty good. You can do, let me play a simple lick for you, all right? And so if I go, now I think, right, I haven't got any more ideas, so I'm going to play it somewhere else. That's good, that's in shape number 5. Let's go up here to shape number 2. Now what you could do also to make it sound a bit different, if you're playing the same lick, is use your pickups. You know, so I've got my bridge pickup on here, all right, so I get this tone sound. But what if I did this, if I move it up to the neck, change my tone a bit. That time, instead of kind of just sliding into the A, I bent to the A there. We'll cover bending in a different video. But the whole point of this is when you play a phrase, see if you can finish on the root. Now there are other notes you can land on, for example, there I landed on a different note, but just for now, when you're starting out, try and land on this A note. and some wrong notes in there, you know, don't worry about that if you hit wrong notes. But when you get more confident with this, you're using one scale, you know, just as shape number 1, and you can start branching out into the other one if you feel comfortable. You can do little half-tone bends. We'll cover bends in a sec. So that's the basics of this. Make sure you know where your A's are in each scale shape, and just play a little phrase, whatever it might be, and join it up. All right, and just remember also that kind of 4-note pattern. So just think where your A is. There it is there. So you can do that 4-note pattern. There it is there. It repeats. There it is there. So you can play these little licks. See, really, what did I do there? It was the same thing, wasn't it? It's exactly the same thing. I was doing those 4 notes. And why did that sound good? I finished on the A note, you see. So there we go. There's a little lesson on how to find your root notes. It really will help your playing, so try not to think in terms of shapes. Well, you are in a way, aren't you? You're still thinking of shapes there, that little square shape, but you've got to know where the A note is. So whatever your phrase, you sound good because you're finishing on the right note.